Hello, everyone. So, should we trust artists to be world builders? World builders, this is not an insignificant expression. It is, in fact, a strong culture in the world of video games. In literature and video games, world building means creating a whole fictional world different of our own, where players can behave and interact differently. In general, world building starts by defining three big aspects. First of all, the environment. You must define the geography, the climate, the terrestrial resources. Does the world produce rice, wood, iron? Living ecosystem, types of species and plants that exist, but also the architecture, the nature of transport and infrastructure. Second, you have to define the political and social context. For example, is this world ruled by an AI, by the people themselves? And three, the inhabitants themselves. What is the social structure in this world? Is there a culture? And if so, is it a unique culture, mixed or multiple? And what does it consist of? What do the inhabitants like? What are their interests? What are their goals? What drives them? And what does the technology, what role does technology plays? If you want to build a world, you must start by that, at least in the arts. It demands a great capacity for thinking and a great deal of imagination. Thinking requires a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, informational data. Imagination requires having fed your mind with many, many different aesthetics and images. It also requires a perfect awareness and understanding of the reality as we experience it. There is a tendency to erroneously pit artists against science, as if they were completely opposed. But yeah, those two worlds have always coexisted. In fact, science and arts admire, respect, and complement each other. You'll often come across scientists who are also photographers or musicians, but also photographers or writers who happen to have degrees in physics or sociology. It's common measure for researchers to invite artists in their laboratory to push the boundary of innovation. In fact, you have a wonderful festival in the city of Linz in Austria held every year since 1979. The name of this festival is Ars Electronica, and every year they gather scientists and artists to think and build innovation, whether it is developing a more economical hydraulic system or finding a way to speak with nature. Yes, dialoguing with a plant is a project ongoing funded by Microsoft that you could find in Ars Electronica a few years ago. Artists don't make beauty. It is a common mistake, I think, to say that. Artists possess, among many, the particular skill to put beauty at the service of a meaning, of a direction. They are supposed to be radical, provocative, and like scientists, to explore every possibility, to question us about the future we want. Then, should we trust artists to be world builders? Trust. I think this is the main word here. Trust is one of the crucial foundations of the society. It is the glue that keeps our interaction acceptable and enables us to continually project ourselves into the future. If there is no trust, there's chaos. Should we trust artists to be world builders? Some people will say we should. Some people will say we should not. Why should we trust them? Did we in the past? Should we have given more credence to the George Orwell's prediction in his 1984? Would we be more alarmed in front of the Nick Blomkamp 2013 films named Elysium, starring Matt Damon and Jodie Foster, which depicts a disturbingly realistic technological dystopia happening in 150 years ago from now, 50 years from now? We should, to some extent, trust that artists can be world builders. Artists in their purest essence are those human beings who manage to escape, to resist social injunction, psychological giles, and political convention. They manage to escape the logic of powers such as capitalism, uniformization, and consequently, they escape the fear to really think by ourselves. They stand on the banks to gain a global view with no obstruction, and ultimately they manage to really think out the box. It is quite the same posture you had when you were a child. As a child, we suffer from very little conditioning. As a child, there is no barriers to exploring, thinking, imagining, and building. Artists are those people who early on understood the very value of the childlike state, and they manage to preserve it somewhere in their cognitive system, in their mind. Becoming an artist is a process of deconditioning. It's removing the multiple layers we've installed to gain the most honest, naked, clear-sighted vision of the world. Being an artist is being free, with a sensibility of high quality. And being a great artist is being able to convey, to spread powerful messages to as many people as possible, to touch their soul only with aesthetics. And of course, in every human being, there is a part of an artist. So I'm not sure if the real question is, should we trust artists to being world builders? But maybe, should we trust ourselves to engage with the artists living in us all and become us world builders? Thank you.